Let me guess. You're watching this because your marriage is falling apart. Or maybe it already did. And now you're paying someone by the hour to tell you that you're right. Cute. But here's what your lawyer won't say. They need your marriage to die slowly. Because a quick death doesn't pay for their second home. You think your lawyer is your warrior? Wake up. They're a salesperson. And you just bought the most expensive product in the world. The illusion that someone else can fix your pain. Every time you cry on the phone with them, billable. Every time you reread their angry letter to your ex, billable. Your trauma, billable. Here's the dirty secret the industry voted not to tell you. In 2022, a study found that lawyers who bill by the hour take 30% longer to close cases than those with flat fees. 30%. Think about that. They are literally paid to drag their feet. Your suffering is their job security. And you're sitting there thanking them for it.
But let's talk about you for a second. Because honestly, you're not innocent here. You didn't hire a mediator who charges $5,000 and ends this in a month. You hired a pit bull. Someone who promises to destroy them. Someone who makes you feel powerful while you're falling apart. You wanted revenge, not resolution. And now you're both paying for it. The average divorce with kids costs $30,000. That's a down payment on a house. That's 2 years of college tuition. That's a future your children will never see because you needed to be right. But hey, at least your lawyer's kid is going to Harvard, right? Someone should benefit from your misery. So here's where you are right now. You're bleeding money. You're bleeding time. Your kids are bleeding hope. And the only people smiling are the ones cashing your checks. The system is rigged, yes, but you're the one who bought a ticket to the game. The question isn't how do we fix divorce? The question is, why did you choose to fight instead of walk away? Because the answer to that question is going to make you angrier at yourself than at your ex. And that's where the real pain begins. Coming up next, the bill you didn't know you signed. Let's look at the math, because math doesn't lie. In 1970, the average divorce cost $3,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $18,000 today. But here's the kicker. The actual average divorce today? $30,000 to $60,000. That's not inflation. That's exploitation. They didn't raise prices because things got more expensive. They raised prices because they realized you'd pay anything to win. A 2022 study from the American Bar Association found that 62% of divorce lawyers admit to billing for administrative tasks that could be done by paralegals. 62%. That's like a chef charging you for boiling water. But here's the part that should make you sick. They also admit that strategy calls, the ones where they talk to you about how angry you are their most profitable service. Not legal arguments, not court filings, your emotions. They're billing you for your own breakdown. Let me give you a real number. In California, a routine, uncontested divorce, both parties agree, no kids, no property, costs $435 in court filing fees. That's it. But if you hire a lawyer to handle it for you, average cost $8,000 to $15,000. For paperwork that takes 4 hours. Do the math. That's $2,000 an hour. Your lawyer makes more in one morning than you make in 2 weeks. And you're the one who's broken? Now compare that to literally anywhere else. In Sweden, divorce costs $50. In Japan, $100. In Australia, if you file jointly, $300. The United States and United Kingdom are the most expensive countries on earth to get divorced. Coincidence? No, because both countries also have the most privatized family court systems. No government oversight, no price caps, just lawyers writing their own checks with your signature at the bottom.
Here's the statistic that will make you want to punch a wall. A 2019 study from the University of Michigan found that couples who hire lawyers take 3.2 times longer to finalize their divorce than couples who use mediation. 3.2 times longer. But here's the real crime. The study also found that the outcome, custody, asset division, everything was statistically the same. You're paying triple the time, double the money for the exact same result. You're not getting justice. You're getting a tax on your pain. And the kids? You think the system cares about the kids? Cute. A 2020 study in the Journal of Family Psychology found that children of high-conflict divorces, the ones where both sides hired fighters, have a 40% higher rate of anxiety disorders. 40%. Your need to win is giving your children a diagnosis. But hey, at least your lawyer's kid is sleeping fine tonight. They're sleeping on a mattress paid for by your trauma. So let's add it up. You're paying 3 times more than your parents did. You're taking 3 times longer than you need to. Your kids are paying with their mental health, and your lawyer is paying off their mortgage. The data is clear. The system is not broken. The system is working exactly as designed. The question is, why are you still playing the game? Because the answer isn't about money. It's not about time. It's about something much darker. Something the industry knows about you that you refuse to admit about yourself. Coming up next, who's the real villain here?
You want to know who's really behind this? Not your ex, not your mother-in-law, not your therapist. Look at the top 10 family law firms in the United States. Combined annual revenue? $2.3 billion. That's billion with a B. Firms like Cordell & Cordell, Goldstein & McClintock, Stange Law Firm. They have billboards on every highway, TV commercials during daytime talk shows. You need a fighter. We don't back down. Protect your rights. Sounds heroic, right? It's marketing, and you swallowed it. Here's how the business model works. Step 1, make you afraid. Afraid of losing your kids. Afraid of losing your house. Afraid of being alone forever. Step 2, sell you the solution. Hire us. We'll protect you. Step 3, keep the conflict alive. Don't settle. Don't mediate. Don't compromise. Step 4, bill you until there's nothing left. This isn't a legal strategy. This is a subscription service. Except instead of Netflix, you're paying $500 an hour for reruns of your own misery.
Let me introduce you to something called billable hour creep. This is when your lawyer takes a task that should take 30 minutes and stretches it into 2 hours. How? Easy. Draft a letter, bill for research first, then drafting, then review, then revision, then a phone call to confirm. 1 letter becomes 5 line items, and you never see the breakdown. You just get an invoice with a total. Professional services, $1,200. You pay it because you're scared, and they know it. But the real villain isn't just the lawyers. It's the system that protects them. In most states, there's no cap on what a lawyer can charge. No mandatory mediation before litigation. No penalty for dragging out a case. And here's the kicker. Family court judges, many of them used to be divorce lawyers. They literally used to profit from the same system they now preside over. You think they're going to punish their former colleagues for running up bills? Of course not. The fox is guarding the hen house, and the hens are paying for both of them. Let me give you an example. In 2019, a man in Texas was billed $47,000 by his lawyer for a divorce that had no assets and no kids.
When he asked for an itemized breakdown, here's what he found. $350 for review of client email. That's 2 minutes. $1,200 for strategy call with associate. That's 15 minutes. $850 for preparation for hearing that never happened. He sued the firm. You know what happened? The judge dismissed the case. Said it was within industry standards. Industry standards. That's code for we all do this, so it's fine. And the lobbyists? The American Bar Association spends over $10 million a year lobbying Congress. What do they lobby for? Not cheaper divorces, not faster courts, not better outcomes for children. They lobby against reform, against mandatory mediation, against fee caps, against transparency in billing. They want you broken. They want you desperate. They want you dependent. Because a healed person walks away. A broken person hires a lawyer. And a lawyer without a broken client is just a person with a useless degree.
But here's where it gets personal. Because you're not just a victim of this system. You're a volunteer. And the reason you keep showing up to the battlefield has nothing to do with the lawyers. Coming up next, the mirror you've been avoiding.
You've been sitting here for 7 minutes, getting angry at lawyers, angry at the system, angry at the lobbyists. Good, you should be. But let me ask you something uncomfortable. Who signed the retainer agreement? Who handed over the credit card? Who kept coming back for more strategy calls, more angry emails, more billable hours? You did. The system didn't force you, it tempted you. And you said yes. That's the part no one wants to talk about. Let me paint you a picture. Your lawyer says, we can settle this tomorrow. Just sign here. But you don't want to settle. You want revenge. You want your ex to suffer. You want them to feel the same pain you feel. So you say, no, fight. And your lawyer says, are you sure? Knowing damn well that's another $20,000 in their pocket. You're not a victim here. You're a co-conspirator. The system didn't invent your hunger for vengeance. It just found a way to charge for it. Here's the twist you didn't see coming. What if the divorce industry isn't the real disease? What if it's just a symptom? Of what? Of you. Of us. Of a culture that worships victory and despises peace. We don't want to forgive. We want to win. We don't want to understand. We want to be right. We don't want to move on. We want to be avenged. The lawyers didn't create that monster. They just handed you a mirror. And you looked at your own reflection, and you didn't look away.
Let me ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. If your ex called you right now and said, let's end this, no more lawyers, no more fighting, let's just stop, would you say yes? Or would you say, too late, you hurt me, now you pay? Most of you would say the second one. I know, because I've seen it hundreds of times. You're not fighting for justice anymore. You're fighting for revenge. And revenge has no price tag. That's why you keep paying. That's why you keep coming back. Not because the system trapped you, because you don't want to leave.
The industry knows this about you. That's why their marketing works every single time. You deserve better. Don't let them get away with it. Fight for what's yours. They're not selling legal representation. They're selling permission to be angry. And you buy it every single time. Because being angry feels better than being sad. Being vengeful feels better than being lonely. Being right feels better than being at peace. But here's the truth they won't tell you. Anger is expensive. Vengeance is bankrupting you. And being right has cost you everything that actually mattered.
So who's really to blame? The lawyers? Yes, they built the machine. The lobbyists? Yes, they protected it.
The judges? Yes, they looked the other way. But you bought the ticket. You sat in the seat. You cheered for the crash. And now you're sitting here, watching this video, maybe $30,000 poorer, 2 years older, and your kids don't look at you the same way. And you're still asking, who did this to me? Look in the mirror. The answer has been there the whole time.
This is the twist most videos won't give you. Because blaming the system gets views. Blaming the audience gets hate comments. But I don't care about your hate comments. I care about the truth. And the truth is, the system is guilty. Absolutely. But you're not innocent either. You wanted a warrior. You got a bill. You wanted justice. You got a transaction. You wanted to win. And you lost everything else. The question isn't, how do we fix the divorce industry? The question is, why do you keep volunteering to be a customer? The way out isn't cheap, but it's not measured in dollars. Coming up next, the final choice between being right and being free.
So here we are, 12 minutes later. What have we learned? The divorce industry is a $20 billion machine that profits from your pain. Lawyers bill you for your breakdown. Lobbyists fight to keep the system broken. And the courts? They're not designed for justice. They're designed for billable hours. But you already knew that. Here's what you didn't want to hear. You're not just a victim. You're a volunteer. You paid for the war. You cheered for the fight. You chose revenge over peace. And now, the invoice is due. You can keep blaming the lawyers. Fine. You can keep blaming your ex. Also fine. You can keep blaming the judge, the system, the lobbyists, the economy, your childhood, your therapist, whatever helps you sleep at night. But here's the question you can't escape. What if the system never changes? What if the lawyers keep billing, the lobbyists keep lobbying, and the courts keep dragging? What are you going to do differently? Because waiting for the world to fix itself is just another way of giving up. The system wants you to believe there are only two options. Option 1, hire a fighter. Spend $50,000. Destroy your ex. Destroy your kids. Destroy yourself. But hey, you won. Option 2, lay down. Give up. Let them take everything. Be a doormat. That's a false choice. There's a third option, but nobody sells it because nobody profits from it. Walk away. Not from your responsibilities, from the war. Stop paying. Stop fighting. Stop letting a stranger with a law degree decide your future. The exit isn't through the courtroom. It's through the door.
But here's the part that makes people angry. Walking away doesn't feel good. It doesn't give you revenge. It doesn't give you justice. It doesn't give you the satisfaction of seeing them lose. It gives you something much more boring. Peace. Quiet nights. Uninterrupted weekends. Kids who don't have to choose sides. A bank account that isn't bleeding. And the chance to build something new instead of burning down what's left. But peace isn't exciting. Peace doesn't go viral. Peace doesn't get views. That's why nobody's selling it.
So now you have a choice, not between winning and losing, between fighting and living, between being right and being free, between a system that needs you broken and a life that doesn't require you to be healed by anyone except yourself. I can't make this choice for you. Your lawyer won't make it for you. Your ex definitely won't. This one's all yours. Here's what I need you to do. Scroll down to the comments. Type one word. If you're done with the war, done paying, done fighting, Done pretending that revenge will fix anything, type peace. If you still believe that hiring a fighter is the only way, that your ex needs to pay, that you can't walk away until they lose, type revenge. There's no right answer. There's just your answer. But whatever you type, remember this. The machine is still running. The invoices are still coming. And the only person who can stop them is the one looking back at you in the mirror.